What's up, Marvel fans? It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It is time to talk about Moon Knight Episode 3. So, thanks for joining us. Tonight we are talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've got some news, teasers, and speculation about what's to come for you, so please don't go anywhere. This is the FOMO Show. Alright guys, this is Dylan. I am Quinn. I don't know if they can actually hear that, but
I'm Quinn. I'm Quinn.
I don't know how much of a whisper it'll pick up, but
Let's see.
yes. But yes.
Yes.
So whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Trovo, all those other things, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Or if you're returning and watching at a later date, that's cool too. But please like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop new videos, when we go live, and all that good stuff. Because our schedules be crazy. And we're just regular dudes doing videos talking about Marvel shit. Yes. So thanks for your support, of course. It's still frozen. I don't know if it is. I might have to reboot the entire program.
We're not Pablo Escobar. Please quit. Unfreeze our money.
So also thank you for checking out the website www.broken.pictures.com. So just special notes. Just stay healthy out there and all that jazz, and of course prayers for the Ukraine and all that jazz. So without getting too deep into that, yeah, happy Easter this weekend. Yeah, it's Holy Week.
Yeah,
I'm not Catholic, I'm just
okay. That's what they do.
Yep,
I believe.
But we're going to hell, so I'm just kidding. just kidding.
He likes to use some fire, y'all.
I do. I'm sorry. I had to have a reason. Anyways, I'll go ahead and pass it off to my illustrious co-host.
Hi. How are y'all?
Words are hard. Right. Well, you gotta do the mouth noises. My dog does that as well.
Oh man, Sammy yesterday. I'll tell you later. Goodness, I could thought about it. All right. Damn. If you haven't I can't, Dylan. My head's messed up now.
Sorry.
If you haven't left now, this is your last chance, because this is your spoiler alert. In this episode of the FOMO Show, we're going to be talking about Moon Knight, Episode 3? Really, that's it. Episode 3. So if you haven't watched that, pause this, go get Disney Plus, watch that, then come back. You have been warned.
Or if you're one of these people who are, anti-Disney because of whatever, not get into that either. That's a whole other thing. Just watch our show and we'll keep you caught up.
Keep you caught up. Wow.
So yeah.
All right.
Not to antagonize the situation.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, you wanted to. Well, I don't know why the rating is in front of the episode intro, but go ahead. Oh, there's two of them on there.
Oh, that's strange.
My bad.
It's all good.
Episode 3, The Friendly Type. With Mark at the forefront and Hero ahead, Mark and Layla, yes that's her name, navigate Cairo for intel. It was a very fun time, I tell you.
Very fond of Layla.
very fond of her.
Yeah.
She's good peoples.
Oh man, that kid. I don't know if he was a kid, but he was like, I mean, he had me like.
They were like, he's just a kid, and he's like, hail on it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna rate the episode. See.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 8. 7.8 spinning skies out of 10.
Really?
Yes. Because I felt for the first time in a long time, I was confused AF for like a hot second.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, what is actually going on? I understood what was going on, but I'm like, what is actually going on? Because for it being... It's the whole it being its own little pocket thing.
Right. It's not connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
It's got to be. Like, that's my thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to give it like 9 Caves of Wonders because of the scarab in the Cave of Wonders. Anyways, even the guy that was like, where he was like doing intel in Cairo and Layla found him and he was giving him like the best juice in the world. I was like, that's Robin Williams' character from the beginning of Aladdin.
Yeah.
But anyways, I felt like there was a lot of like Aladdin things going on, Easter eggs going on. But anyways. So, I mean, if this does not have greater implications to what is happening in the MCU, and I believe it will, it's just a matter of time. Just like before, it was a waiting game where Nick Fury shows up and he goes, "Hey, boom, that's all we get." You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with in the Black Knight, you know, where we hear Mahershala Ali's, we hear Blade's voice. It's like, sure you want to do that? That's all we get. So there's a lot of teasing out, and it doesn't seem like it goes anywhere. A lot of other things happen, and we tend to forget, okay, well, does that even mean anything? Like you mentioned, in the Eternals, when the freaking thing is coming out of the ground and out of the sea.
Yeah, the freaking Eternal coming out of the ground.
Yeah, and then the one in the sky that just like
Arishem.
Arishem shows up,
Yeah.
and it seems like not connected. Nothing's happening. Nobody like. How is this not like a worldwide calamity, or like what the hell, or like at least show us like the cover of the Inquirers, like robots in the sky or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm still in the firm belief that Eternals is at the end of Phase 4.
It's very possible. I think because I don't think Eternals has happened yet in this timeline, because we saw the reference to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier at the time, and they're also not working. One of the things that kind of came out this week was Anthony Mackie said that he was beginning filming on a film, and a lot of people assumed it was Captain America 4. That, oh man, they're working on it. Not happening for another couple years, because he is actually starting work on another film that I cannot remember the name of. I think it is like another franchise type thing, but I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, he's starting a whole new film right now. So Captain America 4 is in the pipeline. It's a couple years out at least. Yeah. So I mean, maybe Phase 5 for all we know. That's
Be nice. So yeah, I mean the way that you, and I think you were heading this way, the way that you can kind of like judge in some of the movies and shows that we've had before Moon Knight and the Eternals is where, if it was in New York, they'd always make a point to talk about the Statue of Liberty. They talked about it in Hawkeye. It was still being worked on.
Yeah, the reference. Or you'd see the billboards, like in Spider-Man. That's how we knew everything was connected.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a smallish world, and things were kind of happening under the radar with Hydra and all that stuff, and S.H.I.E.L.D., and, you know, like the average layperson doesn't really know what S.H.I.E.L.D. is per se, you know.
Yeah, it's Sword.
But with this, like, these are like cosmic things happening within plain view of everyone.
Yep.
So,
which is the problem. So either it's that thing where comic books do that thing
Yeah.
where everyone's dealing with like a thing all at the same time, and even what you call it, the TV show, the Arrowverse, the TV shows, they had the same issue, but they remedied it in a very interesting way. Like there was, and this is just an example. There was one episode where they got captured by Raish, and Oliver was presumed dead. And if you, sorry, spoilers for Arrow. I'm not telling you what season. You'll just find out. And then but Oliver had a contingency plan to have Barry, if he didn't contact him within a certain point in time, to run in and down the Parbat and save everybody. And so that's what he did. But even though Barry, he even mentioned like, yeah, I got to go back. Zoom is running through the city.
Gotta go back.
Yeah.
Lost
So,
reference.
all right. So, but yeah. So, but in this, with them saying it's a little pocket, it's its own little nugget.
Yeah, I think when they're saying that it is like they're trying to do it like Iron Man, where it's not really connected to anything. I think what they mean, what I hope what they mean, is that it is kind of starting a new direction, and I mean, obviously we've seen the billboard for the GRC, and I think there was something else. But we were in London. It's just miles away from where the Eternals were happening. But we're in a different time space. We're before the Eternals, seemingly, not long after the blip.
Yeah.
So we could technically be kind of starting over with not really.
We could be first.
Yeah, it could be first where everything happens out from here and not really affecting here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, the events of everything that happened, like back way when Iron Man happened first, and then everything else just kind of like trickled and then became more noticeable. Then finding Cap, Thor's hammer, Hulk, all that happened at around the same time.
Yeah, and phase one wasn't really connected outside of Phil Coulson showing up, going, "Hey, what is this thing?" Or, "Oh yeah, okay, of course, sure, I'll be there."
And then that's where like the after credit scene became super famous because you had Nick Fury at the end of Iron Man, you had Tony showing up at the end of Hulk, you had Coulson showing up in Iron Man, then Hulk, not Hulk, Thor, and then you had the Captain America scene at the end. I mean, it was connected, but it was the last one, but it was the most connected. Then Captain America running through New York and be like, "You been asleep a long time, Captain."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and from what Sam Jackson is talking a lot, and from what he's saying, he's going to be very involved, kind of moving forward. We're going to see a lot of Nick Fury moving forward. And that would make sense because, like, remember his whole thing recently was like, or in Spider-Man, he was like, there's a lot going on, and I have no clue what's going on. I came back from the blip, and the whole world has gone crazy, And that's not wrong, especially right now where you've got the Eternals thing happening, you've got Khonshu, where people looking around going, that's no moon. Everything is just spinning in the sky and moving potentially back in time 2,000 years. Like,
So
the whole universe, the
yeah.
whole night sky has been rolled back 2,000 years. And then he was So
quickly get to that.
That's huge implications.
Yes.
This episode, huge implications.
So, beginning episode, we
Also, just real quick, rip to Gaspard Ulliel, who played Midnight Man.
Yes.
Who was the shirtless wonder in this episode.
Yes. Doing some type of, I don't know what sport they were playing.
It's an Egyptian, I forgot the name of it, but they have bamboo shoots, like bamboo spears, and it's a lot of like prancing, like a horse dance and equestrian stuff. But it's very high class and heavy skills with equestrian. Kind of like jousting, but more refined and more
better,
less violent and brutal.
Okay, I get
not Poland. Not Poland. All right. So we got. If you haven't caught it by now, this episode basically put it in your face. We'll start with Mark running across buildings and fighting in the.
Well, yeah. Well, also don't forget we start with Layla getting her fake IDs.
Oh yeah.
And the mention of her father and basically confirmation that her dad is the Scarlet Scarab.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, she said, how would your father feel about his little scarab? You know, blah, blah, blah. So this family friend is making her fake IDs, and it also confirms that by looking at their passports, her and Mark were not blipped. So they're normal,
Yeah.
right? But of course, they're fake IDs, but from what we gathered, they were not blipped.
Yeah.
They've been about their business. So there's some big implications that we were hinted about last episode, and she talked about sort of kind of with her father, and that she's basically with the talk of her father and all this, she's basically confirmed to be the same character who was the love interest of Mark in the comics, but a reimagined version.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Yeah.
Have they talked about the snap?
I don't think so.
Put your brain on the same wavelength as mine, Dylan. Come on, you're almost there.
Right.
You're almost there. So if they haven't talked about the snap, even though this is a pocket,
Well, I mean, they mentioned the GRC.
so
So, I mean, that is the Repatriation Act, or whatever it is. You know,
yeah,
bringing people back home after the snap. So, I mean, that's a obscure reference, I guess. It
is. Well, if it, I mean, I don't know. What if this is just a what if? We'll wait for full on hard confirmation.
We've already had that show.
But you know, grain of salt to everything we say. But what if this is in the 5 years?
I don't think so because of the reference to the GRC.
Okay.
Because that only happened after people came back.
I mean,
And they were put, like, I mean, somebody's in your house and you come back and they were having to rehome everybody. And remember that whole deal with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
yeah, but it's not.
So this could be happening about the same time as Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. But it's still in the pocket, so it doesn't work. I don't know. It would be interesting if it was within the 5 years. But
That would be cool to get some of those stories.
yeah, because it'll really be a start. Iron Man retired. Captain America stopped being Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot that happened, but until they say,
Yeah, and what better way to introduce a hero that's been out there but we haven't seen yet is that they came up during the blip time.
But we're still in the pocket
Yeah.
until otherwise told. So, yes.
So yeah, Layla. They've hinted at Layla's father, and it's something that Mark is actively avoiding.
Oh, he super killed him.
That's something we're going to discuss here in a little bit too, because in the comics, well, I guess we can go ahead and get into it if you want to. So in the comics, there is another character called Bushmaster, right? Mm-hmm. And he was Mark is a mercenary, kind of like just like he is now. So he goes on this mission, and Bushmaster turns on them, and did you see that flash?
Yeah.
The TV just flashed on us, but so anyways, yeah, Bushmaster turned on him and killed Layla's father, who wasn't Layla in the comics. I can't remember her actual name in the comics, like that, the blonde that Marcus, his love interest, killed her father and left Mark for dead. So and they have referenced this when Arthur Harrow or no, not him, but the policeman pulled up that photo of the dead bodies. Yeah. So that event happened. So their interpretation of it might be different. Whether or not we're actually getting a Bushmaster character to show up later. We have one.
Luke Cage.
If they
Is
said
that the same Bushmaster?
if they said all this is canon,
Whoa.
that Bushmaster that's Bushmaster.
That is Bushmaster. Yeah. Okay, I did not put that together. That makes sense. So yeah, that's because they've confirmed Daredevil. This would be a perfect way to bring Luke Cage into the fold. I mean, although Mahershala Ali, Diamondback, right?
Yeah.
Whole
I
different
mean,
character.
it's fine. Doppelgangers. It would be super. That's the cameos you can do. Doppelgangers. Where you just you run across somebody say it's Spider-Man swinging through the city. He just sees Chris Evans, who's not Chris Evans, but he's also not Steve Rogers, just sitting there having a cup of coffee, and he stops. Cap? No, I get that a lot though. And he just keeps.
That would be great. Because that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So,
I get told I look like the dude from Schitt's Creek a lot. Since I've had glasses and since Schitt's Creek came out, but before that I got Christian Bale. I've gotten somebody even said it was a young Richard Gere from American Gigolo. I've heard all kinds of stuff. There's a dude from the Backstreet Boys that I look similar to. There's all kinds of folks. I got one of those faces. Anywho, doppelgangers are a thing. That would be a fun thing to do.
it would be.
So I mean, yeah, if that is this Bushmaster, then please God let that be the same actor.
Yeah.
And make that connection. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it's super cool. Ooh, the things that they could do.
Or another theory going around is there were two main influences for the series that the director quoted. One, Fight Club.
Club fight.
Two, Indiana Jones. And we saw both in this episode. Layla is basically into Indiana Jones. She is a lot like Killmonger, where she's like, "Hey, these things are already stolen. I'm just yeah, only a little bit more Indiana Jones and less, break in and kill people."
That music start hitting out of nowhere. I'm gonna lose my stuff. I don't know who's gonna show up.
That'd be amazing. That's another thing that we can kind of get into here in a minute. That another huge implication this episode. So, anyways, Fight Club. We talked a little bit last week about who is sending Mark, or who is taking care of the fish, who is giving his Stephen postcards.
Yes.
Is he messing with him? Is he protecting the gap between Mark and Stephen? Jake Lockley,
Yep.
right?
It is Jake.
In the comics, Jake is basically just a taxi driver and foreman. But based on what we saw this episode, he's more like Robert De Niro taxi driver.
Stone Cold
Yeah.
Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems to be like the Tyler Durden in this series. Like, he's going to show up and he's going to be the one that's just like wreaking havoc.
Yes. Because I mean, he did.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was also very interesting. So for whatever reason, they don't know he's there. They're aware of each other now. And they talk to one another and everything.
Big confirmation that there is a third.
So yeah, straight up.
Not to mention all the images of Oscar Isaac are like in threes.
Yeah. And then so the
promo material,
this is probably the promo material, all that good stuff. But when he was on on the rooftops fighting, Steven was up there like, "Hey, no, fam, let him go. Let him be. It's all good." And then Mark's like, "All right, no." And he was about to punch him and get him again. Blacks out. Turns out Steven let him go. Then I guess Steven befriended them at some point.
I'm just like, how? Because they were trying to kill each other,
Yeah.
right? It's like, and then suddenly he turns into Steven. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, let us go." Maybe they're freaked out. I don't know. I would like to see that side of it.
Yeah.
What you were talking about. What you thought episode 2 was going to be was seeing the other side of the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's done a lot, but that's still interesting to me. But it seems like So you got Mark. I think it's pretty much established that Mark is the main guy. He is the person, and Steven is a created.
Secondary.
Yeah, he's a created personality that from his DID. So that being the case, Jake is the devil on one shoulder, and Steven is the angel on the other, and Khonshu is the one just screwing with everybody.
He'll talk to the guy in the middle. Mm-hmm. He'll tolerate the guy on the left. He don't mess with the guy on the right.
Yeah.
He looks at him like, no, I need you to leave.
Yeah. So how they interpret these characters is going to be different than the comic. Obviously, they've already gone different direction with these characters big time.
Yeah.
With Steven becoming Mr. Knight, which is not a thing in the comics. Mr. Knight is a thing, but
he's his own character.
Yeah. Mr. Knight is ruthless with himself, and he's more of it like an investigator type thing, or consultant or whatever. But the way they're doing, where each persona has an avatar version. Mm-hmm. Who's Jake's? Is it going to be Dark?
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
No, that's
the Dark Knight. That's fine. But there is like an anti-Moon Knight character. I can't think of who it is, but he's basically Moon Knight in black.
Yeah. I know.
And it's not Midnight Man. Midnight Man is a whole different.
I know in the Ultimate Comics, Moon Knight, his colors were inverted, where the moon was just bright white and the rest of everything was black, but he didn't have the hood. It was just like a mask, and then still a cape. So, I mean, he could do that. Could be it.
And if Jake is the one that steps up and is like, all right, you two can't seem to handle it. I'm going to step in and handle business. If he's the one that does that and takes pleasure in pain and suffering, Khonshu's going to be pretty happy with that one.
Yeah. It's like, go be my fist of vengeance, please.
Yeah. So I don't see why Khonshu wouldn't give Jake an avatar version.
What if Jake / Scott, because they could just do that. Because that's what he told him to call him at the museum.
Oh, right. Yeah, Scotty. Because it seems like Jake he likes messing with, because there were the references where he had shuffled it in drunk, and even last episode when we got the reveal that they're in Egypt, dude is just sitting there with a bottle, just drunk,
and one of Steven or Mark were in the mirror, like looking at him, but I guess they just thought it was the other one.
Possibly.
So, but what if he's too much for Khonshu? Like, what if Khonshu's like, oh, fam, that's okay. I violence is cool, but this is just gore.
I don't know, because the way Khonshu, because the way Arthur talks about him and the way Mark talks about it, it's like the only thing that the only language that Khonshu understands is pain. Mm-hmm. And so they both have a very, very dark relationship with Khonshu and understanding of and view of Khonshu. So, I mean, I don't know. The way he dealt with the kid, he'll talk, and then he just like
Bruce Alberts
and cut it and fell. He's like, oh, I thought he would talk. He didn't seem to care. Like, oops, he's a child.
Yeah,
Didn't seem to bother him at all. Even though Mark, when he was fighting, he was about open hand. Handled him differently.
Yeah. That's just how, like, low key. That in just about every verse. Thanos in the MCU
or Loki complex, and he's like, "What cool does a gold have with an aunt?" Or whatever.
Yeah, Loki complex. Because Thanos would he recognized all of the ants and realized there's not enough caramel on this table for all of these ants. But if I take away half the ants, then everybody can eat their fill. That's a Thanos complex.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess we did kind of see like the virtue in Khonshu this episode, where he's not just straight up evil. even though he's been portrayed that way in the comics sometimes. And even so much where it was revealed that he was like one of the elder evil gods, like Cthulhu or something like that. You know?
An eldritch evil.
Yeah, he's an eldritch evil god in the comics. So he might still be that, and that might be how he breaks out of this stone prison or whatever, having more power than he realizes. Or we'll see. Mark's supposed to find him, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Although I think Mark would just be happy to be done with him, even though he might need him for...
We'll get to the end of the episode, but he's dead. So, but after they... Arthur Harrow has found the tomb. They got the Scarab. He's leading folks through the desert. And then the Scarab's like, oh, fam, Mama's down there. And so Scarab goes back. He's like, oh, cool. We found it. Let's start digging. And
yeah, because just to cover it, the same thing that had happened to Khonshu had already happened to Amit, and that's the tomb they're looking for, where
hers is.
her stone prison is, so they can resurrect her.
a real statue, because it's a real statue.
Yeah. So Ethan Hawke can talk sternly to it for 60 seconds.
So then they ended up. He's like, I have an idea. So what do we do now? Khonshu's like, fam, I got an idea. It's not a good idea, but it's an idea. and he's like, what? What's the idea? Just wait. Eclipse. And I'm like, oh. Yep, everybody saw that. Which was apparently his way of making the other gods be like, fam, what are you doing messing with the sky? Mm-hmm. So then we found out all of the other gods that are remaining.
Which is another huge implication that the Iliad or Ennead or whatever exists. All these 9 other gods, even though we only saw 6,
Yep.
Could include the... we haven't seen, like you said, we haven't seen Ra. We haven't seen... Anubis. Of course, you know, we could see Bast, who... technically an Egyptian god, because of Wakanda, and the color is still purple, that same color that Arthur Harrow uses. So technically Black Panther is the avatar of Bast.
I mean, also super. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Because in certain comics, he had, and I thought we would see this power. They kind of like touched on it in the movies, but they didn't really touch on it because they're like, no, that's weird. We need to make this make sense by using nothing but technology. So he does deal with like mystic arts, and even like in other video games, other comics and stuff, like the shaman that does a little all that mess.
Yeah.
Like has the ability to like reach out into the ether and talk to everybody else. I know in like the one that
I feel like they left the door open with the afterlife thing.
Yes, because there's also this other thing. Black Panther has the ability to turn to an actual panther, like real talk, just and panther.
That would be amazing.
So
Yeah.
he besides
we've definitely dealt with like the natural side of things, and with this and Doctor Strange and WandaVision, Scarlet Witch, we are definitely like full tilt going into the mystical side of the MCU.
So, but yeah, so I mean, I full on believe that Black Panther is the avatar of Bast, but
in my head canon at work, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's not doing the thing. That's weird. Is it doing it over here? I wonder.
I don't know. That might be a.
No, it's a TV thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, we're getting some flickering on. It might be the program or whatever. But anyways.
So yeah, I fully believe that.
Mm-hmm. And so we've got all of these other avatars across the earth, but they have no interest. They're basically watchers.
Yeah.
They have no interest in being involved. Unless Arthur Harrow succeeds, because they don't seem to believe that he is trying to do what he's obviously trying to do. And it was really weird to me that they are gods, yet they did not call on any of their resources for this. They just basically like had a little trial, and Arthur Harrow was like, well, what about that? Well, what about that? And just distracted them.
Favoritism.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's because they're like, Khonshu, you called us here. You being a butthole, fam. I ain't got time for this. What's the deal? You got proof, Khonshu? I don't have proof. But
That was kind of cool to
Yes.
see that. Yeah, that was a cool scene.
so, yeah. And then he's up there like, Khonshu made me do unspeakable things. Touch his lips.
Why are you touching things?
So he used his beak to. So yeah. So Arthur was, he was up there like, Khonshu. He was up there like, Khonshu is a menace and shouldn't be trusted. I mean, you
And
already.
he's not wrong.
Yeah, like, you already don't trust him. So why? I ain't trying to do that. Fam, I don't even know where that tomb is. It's lost for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
No one asked, like, fam, where's the scarab? Well, it's like, what scarab, fam? It's cool.
Yeah. They choose not to know because
Yeah.
they could very easily find out what he's up to. They just
They
are
just
not
don't
interested.
wanna- yeah.
They don't want to.
Don't
want
want
to
to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because
But they're going to have to if he gets
Oh.
Amit out.
Most definite. So then they leave. They give Khonshu a stern grab of the wrist and shake and say, "You mess with our skies again." And then I was like, "Why would you say that? Why would he have a reason to do that?" Later in the episode, mess with our skies again. We coming for you, fam. I need you to understand. We will seal you away like the others. And that right there,
Yeah.
led me to believe that Ra, Anubis, what's her face,
Amit.
Amit, are the other ones that are sealed.
Yeah, because it's very interesting that Anubis wasn't present when they're talking about Amit.
Yeah,
Because they're very closely related. Because
because she has to judge, and then he figures him to the afterlife, all that good jazz.
Yeah.
So they work together.
did they do something together?
You
and they,
know they did. The God of death and the God of judgment. Literally.
Yeah.
And then Ra, the leader of the gods, don't know what he did.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a big character in the comics called the Sun King that is basically kind of like this Arthur Harrow character. He's the avatar of Ra, and he's got like sun powers, and he's the opposite of Moon Knight. You know how they make sense in the comics, but
So I don't. Which is, they haven't shown him yet. So I'm still in my mind. For until they say otherwise, Ra is also sealed for whatever reason, or has just been, or just like flipped off the whole pantheon of Egyptian gods and left. It's like, I'm just gonna sit over here on a beach eating mangoes all day,
or dates.
whatever's here, doesn't matter.
So, getting it. So this also kind of low key opens the door for the resurrection of Killmonger,
All hail King Killmonger.
because in the comics, Killmonger has been resurrected
Yes.
by the Egyptian gods, right?
Yep.
So
Don't let me hear that music.
yeah, and I mean it's a fan favorite character, and they've already brought him back in What If, and I mean
Michael B. Jordan will be down.
he's so down,
Yep.
and they need somebody to step into that role.
Yep.
So
No, they wouldn't do that to me.
you gotta say it out loud now. You can't just go
man.
and not say so.
All right. What if TM? Ra or Anubis aren't sealed. Ranubis. Ooh, no, let's not do that and say we did. Ra or Anubis aren't sealed. One of them brings back Killmonger, and he's their avatar. Killmonger, the Sun King,
Killmonger, Avatar of Death.
But wouldn't he be the avatar of Bast, White Panther?
I mean, if he goes back to Wakanda, but if it's one of them, resurrect him.
I mean that's what happened to Mark.
Yeah.
He was resurrected by Khonshu.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing now.
So he can resurrect.
The path is open.
Path is open.
Which they're not going to talk about that until it happens. Then you're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah.
So I mean,
huge implications.
I'm in. I'm down. Let's go. So yeah, Killmonger could be resurrected. Wait, where's this one then?
That's Ra resurrecting. Resurrecting.
Resurrecting. So yeah, then after this, Layla shows back up. She's up there like, I have a leak.
Because he's out there just like, hey, I need to talk to so-and-so, to this juice guy. But a little Easter egg, he is wearing a Cubs hat.
Yep.
He's from Chicago. Confirmed on top of his passport, but you know.
Yeah. So also, yeah, after they did all that, she up there with her little bag of juices. I'm gonna be cute while you look stupid. And
was she over there sucking a hookah?
that's how she had her bag of juice.
I love that. I miss that part.
I was like, oh, she got a bag of juice. That must be some good juice instead of a bag. You would have drink that juice out of a bag? That's some good juice.
It's like milk in a bag in Canada.
So, but yeah, this is the part where I was like starting to halfway pass out. So.
Oh, you watched it late last night?
Yeah, I watched the rest this morning so I could be clear-minded and not sleepy. But when they got on the boat, I was like, what are y'all talking about? I see y'all's lips moving. Now there's some folks dancing. Hold on, what's going on?
Yeah, so basically they're trying. They've got to find this ancient. Okay, so when the Ennead, basically it's like, hey, there's nothing else you can do, and then I forgot which Egyptian god.
The goddess of love and music.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever that is.
Yeah. So in Egyptian lore, her and Khonshu were lovers and they had a relationship and stuff like that. So for them to say that, he used to love my music and all this stuff, there's something there. She's the goddess of the sky also.
Yes.
And he's the god of travelers, the moon, and
yep.
So, there's a connection there.
Okay, I remember this part.
Do we or do we not trust her though? She says there's another way. Although she was awful quiet during the trial.
Yeah. Because she can't.
Yeah. Just tells him about this 2,000-year-old magi who knew about the location of Amit's tomb, and so they have to find the sarcophagus of this ancient magi. Lo and behold, Midnight Man has it because his character in the comics, he would perform he would perform heists at midnight because comics. And so basically just steal things off the black market to get them out from the black market, but he would keep them and not do anything else. He just collected them himself. And so that's what he had. He just had this huge collection.
Yep.
And that's who he is. So yeah, he had the thing, and they had to go in there and try to read it. And she
sent Mark in there first. I remember that.
And they posed it. Said Mark was somebody else, but still her new husband.
Yeah.
And they were on their honeymoon, and he wanted to see it. I don't know. I don't understand necessarily why, unless they were already aware of who Mark is, because there was already some mistrust there with Midnight Man and Layla.
Yeah.
And so
she probably crossed them at some point in time for like a heist or something.
Yeah, because she also steals things off the black market, but she seems to return them to their rightful place.
Yeah. So
and they mentioned Madripoor.
Yep. More than one. This is the
so
time.
Very possibly that they are in cahoots or have worked with the power broker, whether that's Sharon Carter or not. Well, I was really hoping that he turned out to be the Power Broker or something crazy like that. But
I'm sorry.
But yeah, his character.
Welcome to the world of crushed dreams.
Yeah. So the actor that played the character died a few months back in a tragic skiing accident. Yes.
Yes.
So we probably won't. I mean, he's going to be in this season more, but we probably won't see him
again.
Yeah, unless they recast him somehow.
Yeah. So, but yes, he was looking at the sarcophagus, and now we're in the morning. When I watched the rest of it, looked at the sarcophagus, looked down at the sarcophagus, was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Steven's like, oh, well, looky there. Who's the dummy now? And Mark's like, Steven, just tell me what I'm looking like. No, give up the body. And Mark's like, dude, just please. And he's like, oh, the body, please. And so
Just save it with the V.
Then so he went ahead and was like, all right, fine. And then he started touching Mess, and then they were like, stop touching Mess.
Yep.
She
Layla pulled a blade out of her necklace, or turned her necklace into a blade.
She was up there like, I was like, oh snap, she's about to trance. Never mind.
And then they're like, where's Mark? Turn around and he's gone. And then, oh, there he is. So he can do a superhero landing and show us his cape.
I am the night. I am Moon Knight.
Random bullshit go. Starts throwing shit.
Cape flings. Shit comes out.
That was kind of cool because, like, when I saw it in the teaser where he wrapped his cape around her and the gunshots, they were kind of going, like, sinking into his cape. But I didn't realize his cape was holding the bullets, because then when he did the Power Ranger spin, he flung all the bullets and killed all the dudes. And I was like, that was pretty badass.
Yes. So, I mean, Dylan, I know the comparisons can be made, but damn if that wasn't some, like, real Batman right there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but, yeah, he...
Outside of being impaled multiple times.
Yeah,
Give me the body. Oh, you can have it back.
He was like, yes. Oh! They snoked me.
So we've probably seen a lot of character development for Steven that is kind of going under the radar right now, where he is becoming more adept with being an avatar and a more capable person as a Moon Knight, as Mr. Knight.
So he did all that.
So he might end up actually being the Stephen Grant from the comics, where he is, basically Bruce Wayne. He might grow into that.
Yeah, he might, especially if he just comes into money.
He's dealing with a lot of antiquities.
Yeah, it's very easy to come into money in this.
Yeah.
So,
Just ask National Treasure.
boy howdy. 3% was too much. What do you mean 3%? You have a 25-room house. All right.
A Ferrari can't drive. Or Lamborghini can't drive.
Dang. So yes. Then after the wonderful fight sequence, and Arthur shows up. We forgot about that.
Yeah.
Arthur Harrow shows up, and he does Arthur Harrow stuff of, listen to me.
Yeah.
Do not trust him. Let me use my Jedi mind tricks. Let me show you real power. Come here.
It's
Look
just the
at this.
taste.
Let me. And then that is just taste power. Goodbye. Glides into the night.
Crushes the sarcophagus with his power. Just shows up enough to kind of like magic trick. Woo. Woo.
I told you, I'm really cool. While they're like, he just crushed the sarcophagus. And
everybody's like, what's going on?
Oh wow, that's really cool. I want that cane, but that's cool too. So yeah, but they were able to scrap up enough of the cloth
Right.
of what they need to complete the star map. So they get that. They leave. They go out to.
They're gonna do a Stargate crossover here soon.
Yeah. They go out into the middle of the desert, and they then Steven full on.
Yeah. He has to. Mark gets so pissed he breaks the side view mirror off the Jeep. It's like, come on, fine. At first, I was like, I wonder if that's just something he did, just kind of like, and everybody's like, oh shit. But obviously, he needed it to, look at, because he had early in the episode a serious problem of trying to fight, but always seeing reflections and flipping back.
Yep.
It's like, just stop fighting around reflections.
So, but yeah, he ended up. They switched back. Steven got out there, put it together, made him a little star. Arts and crafts.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, everything seemed to make sense except for, look at the pinpricks of the thing. I was like, how old is this cloth?
I mean,
and the pinpricks are still accurate. Like,
it's
but
Egypt.
yeah,
I will say the preservation of that cloth probably went down the second they opened that coffin.
yeah.
It was probably in really good condition before then, but since they've had everything out,
They broke the seal.
Yeah. Like it probably, like if they did it for like a few hours, it probably still would have been really good because for whatever reason.
And it's just sitting out there in this little glowing pyramid in the
nature.
air. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
all right,
so
with light all around it. All right, that's cool, fam. But because for whatever reason, though, honestly, the Egyptian civilization fell easily 2,000 years ago, more than that. But they were really good at like 3 things: making sure stuff lasted a long time, building pyramids that they shouldn't have been able to build, and
Did they though?
I mean, Dylan,
I mean, slaves, aliens.
no matter how many slaves you have, like 3 tons is 3 tons. There's something we don't know. I feel like. Unless the slaves were just really strong, but they were slaves, so they
a
couldn't
whole
have.
nation of slaves.
They had a whole nation of slaves.
But anyways.
Either way, it's either really sad or really creepy or a feat of engineering that we've lost the time and something's under the pyramid. Like really under the pyramid.
I mean, there's a whole god trial going on in the center of the Pyramid of Giza, apparently.
Bruh. Just break it open. So yeah. Not to mention like the lost tombs that are out there. There's tons, I'm sure, of lost tombs. God, I want to go treasure hunting something. So yeah. What was I saying?
Yeah, so he puts together the piece.
He puts together the piece.
And then she pulls out this basically a star map app and
Stark Tech.
yeah, and Star Tech starts, it's like, okay, well, and to me this was a plot hole because can't you just, isn't there an app or a website or something to show you where the placement of the stars were at a certain time of day or a certain day in time?
Yes and no. It's using the trajectory of where they are now and where they're going to then reverse that. Mm-hmm. So, but
yeah, because basically they just she took a picture of where they are now, and then they pulled it back 2,000 years, took that picture, and like you said, calculated the difference. So, they just needed a mathematician, and
they didn't have time to learn trigonometry.
Yeah, so they just let's just roll things back 2,000 years instead of getting on the phone.
Where we got the biggest feat of his powers yet, and Steven was
or just using the internet. I mean, you don't know anybody in all these bless you, in all these adventures. You don't know anybody that is adept in
not in the time frame they had, I guess. I feel like it was a thing of like it's the most
Necessity.
convenient thing to do right now.
Is it though? Because like it was like Khonshu's entire livelihood, his entire like freedom.
He's like, I trust you enough. Tell Mark to save me. I said, Mark. I know what I said. You and that other guy. What other guy? Don't worry about it. Tell Mark to save me. So yeah.
Yeah, they step up there and start doing all this.
Oh, it's like a Rolodex, but with stars. So
Yeah, so huge implications just with that moment because it doesn't seem like they had time to roll it back. Or did it just reset? Or like, how does this work?
did he
Because
stop rolling it? Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped
it. Stopped at 2,000 years.
yeah, so they essentially rolled back the entire night sky, which is it's not just a picture of the universe. It's the entire universe that they're rolling back 2,000 years. So did they actually go back in time? Or is it just movement? Or like what does this mean? What is this? Because the moon and the implications of this happening all at once, because just the moon controls the tides on a regular ass day, a regular ass night. So you imagine the earthquakes and the chaos created by this on the earth. You're just gonna say magic, aren't you?
I'm gonna say magic. I think he put it in a bubble. In all honesty, it's probably, we did see it like going across the sky, but I think it's in a bubble, but it is a high level of magic. So like, if he's around,
Yeah, is it an illusion or is it actually moving?
oh, it was actually moving.
Yeah, well,
Because-
that's what I mean. If it's actually moving, that the entire universe is actually moving. That means Guardians of the Galaxy, an entire galaxy over, is seeing this.
I don't think Khonshu's that strong.
Every single star in the sky moved.
Every single
Those
star
are
in the sky.
those are light years away.
Everything that's star
Those
in the
are
sky.
in
'Cause,
solar
I mean,
systems and galaxies, and like that is everything. Because if you move one and you don't move another, like you said, they move over time. You're gonna crash something into something else.
I don't think he actually moved them. I think he moved the perception of like where the light was at that time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it an illusion, or was it physically moved the entire universe?
A bubble. A physical bubble of where they are.
Ooh, explain.
So like,
So it's an illusion.
I don't know. It's not an illusion, because if like you come into it, like if you go in there, it's like the hex. So it wasn't an illusion. Everything in there was very real, but it changed. So it's like that. It's a massive form of energy, and like if you go in there, you can control everything because you're the one that's doing it. And if you then go in there from the outside, everything will change around you.
But even with the hex, if you passed beyond a certain point, nothing was affected outside the point. But we're talking about like as far as the eye can see, or not just the eye can see, but any light or stars or whatever planetary system is connected to every single one of those stars, everything moving all at once.
I think he can control. I think it's all of Egypt. In all honesty, I think it's all of Egypt. All of Egypt, like the entire country of Egypt itself,
Is only seeing this happen.
is only seeing this happen.
It's possible
Because it's very
I see
far.
what you're saying as far as like a bubble now.
Yeah.
But that's still kind of in my mind. It still kind of falls in like illusion category. But I see what you're saying. Where it didn't actually physically moving, but they saw it. You know,
It moving,
from
yeah.
their perception, it did move.
It moved, and because which means Hera would have saw it. So people saw it. We know people
Yeah.
saw it, and that's what that boils down to. But it didn't go back.
Yeah, because it didn't go back. So, like on the internet, people are like, okay, so if this actually turned back time, because the moon affects gravity. And gravity is the most powerful force in the universe, right?
Yes.
Everything. Does that mean that if they turned back time, like a literal time, that affects everything. That resets literally everything in the MCU. Literally everything.
Yeah.
So the implications and the understanding of what happened,
I don't know what.
you know what I mean? It's like that's potentially ginormous.
Yeah.
You know, especially if things are happening in the MCU that we've already seen, like the Eternals have already happened, or they happen later than this.
It affects it. So I mean,
and there's been no mention of it.
No.
You know, because obviously Moon Knight hadn't come out yet. They didn't want to spoil anything. But at the same time, are they living on a 2,000-year-old or younger Earth? You know what I mean?
yeah, like the planet itself is younger, but
And if that's the case, then Eternals is never would have happened.
no,
It's a non-issue because the whole 7-day timeline. We should have just got Khonshu on the damn phone and turned time back, or even Doctor Strange and turned time back. Oh, you got 7 days? We'll roll this back.
So I don't think it just because I only say that I don't think it went back in time because his realm and domain is
the night sky.
Yeah, it's the night sky, and he even if it's daylight, he can make the eclipse. I don't.
Because he's moving the moon.
Yeah, but I don't know if he
Is it literally even the implications of just moving the moon during the day to an eclipse from where it is normally in the sky
supposed to be?
is still a huge implication as far as scientifically and earthquakes and
because if the moon was
and floods and all
that
stuff.
Yeah, because the moon's not scheduled for an eclipse for another 10 years, and it's over here, and he had to move that from there to there. That messes up a lot of stuff. Not to mention the fact that the moon basically became the most deadliest thing to the planet, because if he messed that up by an inch and that mess gets knocked out of orbit and comes crashing down, fam, we done.
Yeah, and he fully aware of this, being the god of the moon.
Yeah,
fully aware.
So, but that did. So no matter
which it kind of explains why the other gods were so pissed.
Yeah. So the other gods came from different places in the world. You can just tell by the way they dressed that they came from different places in the world.
Yeah.
One was from Africa. One was from possibly South America.
Another one looked like he was Celtic or something.
Yeah. So, but they all saw it. So, which means the eclipse, the entire world saw for sure.
Oh yeah, yep. And if going by that rule, the entire world saw the night sky thing.
Yep. The bubble of the earth.
It's got as far as story, because if this literally happened, physically happened, the MCU is done. There's nothing else they can do outside of everyone assemble and figure out what happened and
Unless he turns back time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has to be as far as story wise and things affecting other things and actually being able to still continue to tell a story that makes sense. It's got to be some type of illusion, some type of within that realm where it was something that was seen but wasn't physically affecting.
Yeah. Hopefully. Maybe.
Yeah, because if it was physically affecting, just the entire universe is complete, chaos. But Multiverse Madness coming out, the entire they can throw everything in the trash can right now, screw it all up for the sake of chaos and the Chaos Lords or whatever, Elder Gods coming in from WandaVision and Doctor Strange Part 2 and all these things. Of them things showing up, and this is just the repercussions of everything being out of whack and just chaos, and throw everything in the trash like they've done, paint themselves into a corner and just boop, reset.
Reset it. I mean,
comics have done that so many times.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see, because
it's nerve-wracking and frustrating for me as a person. to see this. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And that's
But-
what the do ex machina is in Greek.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, Deus ex machina.
Machina.
I can't say it. Anyways, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is in the tragedies or in the plays, that in the Greek plays, that's what that was. Is they would tell this crazy outlandish story, paint themselves into a corner where literally everything was just shit, and there was nothing else they could do. There's no way to fix it, and have a god step in and fix it. So that's what they're, and it's weak storytelling. It's weak storytelling because it's not reverse engineering your story and thinking ahead. You're just, ooh, what if this happened? What if that happened? Ah, and you just get nuts, which can be fun for certain instances and certain scenarios, but overall, it's viewed as weak storytelling. Something on the table.
Dusty over there. That's weird. I'm like, oh, I'm always here. I guess I don't reach this far.
Maybe I just need to clean the table.
What I was about to say. Until they say otherwise, it's in a bubble.
Yeah, and I mean, literally, I mean, if the gods of Asgard are a thing, then this is not a big jump to have the Ennead a thing. And to be honest, the Ennead first showed up in Thor comics.
Yep.
So we could very well see this connection. And
It'd be very funny if Valkyrie just showed up and punched him.
yeah. So another connection to Thor. Thor: Love and Thunder has the record for the MCU movie that has had the shortest distance between the first trailer and the movie coming out. We haven't had a trailer yet. Are they waiting for something like this in Moon Knight to reveal some connection before they release the trailer? Because
I mean,
if it's that connected, you know what I mean?
They're not beyond
If.
putting the trailer at the end of the movie. That's what they did for Spider-Man.
Yeah. They
Because-
waited on that trailer until they got the story out that was needed to set up what came
What's
next.
the next? Possibility. I mean, we could be watching a low-key hidden version of Love and Thunder.
Yeah, where everything is connected, and because if this is some sort of time travel and they rolled things back, then Asgard is back.
Asgard's back. Odin's back. Hela's sealed, maybe, but she was never
Yeah.
gone.
Like, and that the implications of that are huge.
Thanos is back.
Yeah,
Chadwick Boseman, he's not back.
yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean that people are back, but places and things were moved.
Places and things are moved. Oh no! Dylan.
What?
Dylan. Nowhere.
The severed godhead.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't bring back Celestials, Dylan.
Yeah. Also, if this is the thing where gods are willy-nilly wreaking havoc and just doing all the, and we do get all this chaos, that does set up the necessity for
God
the
butcher.
villain of Gore the God Butcher, where he's like, I have to step in because this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do something.
Somebody needs to cut up some heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hercules.
And that would
Hercules.
Yeah.
If Hercules
until he goes
shows
after
up in
Thor,
Moon
and
Knight.
everybody's like, no.
It'd be super funny if Hercules just showed up in Moon Knight. I still think they're gonna make Hercules an alien, but if
Why? Well, I mean, technically they're all aliens,
Yeah,
right?
technically.
There's other dimensions.
yeah, but just because I mean he's in Love and Thunder, yes, they said he was
Did they?
Hercules and Zeus. I believe they said they were.
I know Zeus is.
Yes. I think my brain may have, but I also feel like I saw it somewhere. Excuse me. Thank you.
Very possibly. I mean,
So
I don't remember.
But yeah.
Oh, shit memory.
So yeah, I mean, oh dang, what if?
Huge implications, because I mean, if they are introducing other pantheons of gods, then why not? I mean, we are, like you said, we already know Zeus is coming, so that is introducing the what is it, the Greek pantheon.
Yeah. The Greek pantheon of gods, which that's a lot of them. For like, just literally pick a body part on Zeus, each spit a baby out from there. So, yeah. So last thing, it's a double thing. So at the very last scene, Layla was grabbing Mark's body, and she's like, Mark, trying to wake him up. She wasn't slapping him. That's just in my brain. She's
She was like,
Yeah.
I think she was even like, I'm not sure who you are,
Mark,
Steven,
Mark. Jerry, I don't know.
And then Jake goes, quit slapping me, bitch.
He's up there. He was like, why you cut me? Don't ask me questions, I said.
He's just got like the dirty Cockney accent. He's like, all right, hey.
Go take a shoe.
Mary Poppins.
And then the show's up for no reason.
Oh,
So, but yeah, essentially, since Khonshu's power is gone, he should be dead again. He should be, because he said in like the first or second episode, the only thing keeping you alive is my power.
Well, no, he didn't say the only thing keeping you alive. He said, see how you fare against Arthur Harrow without my healing.
Healing armor. Was that this episode?
Armor.
There was
this episode. Yeah.
There was another. So in episode 2, then he did say something along the lines of like, because they were arguing because Steven took over the body and put on the Avatar suit, and he was like, you know, the only reason that you're even alive is because of my power. So
well, yeah, because he resurrected.
Because he resurrected him.
Yeah.
So then I'm like,
I think he's still alive. He just, with the Khonshu exiting his body, like he passed out. Yeah.
Okay. So then also now, how is he gonna? How is he gonna get him? How is he supposed to get him back? Like I mean, he can go in there.
I mean, they're gonna have to find an artifact and go looking for Khonshu's tomb or whatever, you know.
They're gonna
Not to mention the potential connections to King.
Yeah, but they gotta find some way in that pyramid.
West Coast Avengers had a little run where they went back in time, and Hawkeye had to talk to Khonshu to get a message to Moon Knight so that they could fix something to make so they could get back in time. So.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So, all right. We'll see what happens.
I mean, if we're playing with time travel, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we saw the Sphinx and the big Kang watch there.
Yeah.
Because we know Kang is coming, and it would make sense if they tied it in, and because Ramatut.
Yeah.
Kang went back in time because he was bored and conquered Egypt, became a pharaoh.
All right. Well,
was he the first Avatar? We'll see. I don't know.
See.
Maybe they'll. I feel like they could potentially next episode get into the history of Khonshu and all that backstory while they're looking for his statuette.
I think next episode they are, because we still haven't got the scene of like.
And we're halfway done. We've got three more episodes.
We haven't got the scene of like Mark getting all on the statue of Khonshu up at the moon. There was a scene. It's very quick. It's like him laying on his back, reaching up, and then like it cuts off there.
Huh.
So
also the scene where Steven's in the mental hospital.
Yeah.
And that could also be next episode because he's powerless without Khonshu, and they just lock him up.
They took him to she takes him to like an actual hospital, and then they're like, oh, go get the big boys, and yeah, I mean they could. And He just so happens to meet a nice gentleman by the name of Wade Wilson.
Have you seen the trailer, or not the trailer, but the meme where he's like, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and then it's the next one is Deadpool is like, calm down, Deadpool, like.
That's funny. But yeah, bud, I'm sure you did. Egyptian god powers, all that good stuff. I knew a guy who had bone claws coming out of his fist. It was crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. But yeah, with this leading into Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness, they could very well leave it in complete chaos and then tie it all in, because even though Doctor Strange was supposed to be like 2 hours or some odd minutes, just like Spider-Man, they have rolled that back, and it's just without the credits, it's under 2 hours now. But it's supposed to be more. It's supposed to be crazier than Spider-Man as far as like cameos and everything. It's like
So
they could very well pull Moon Knight in, or this other Pantheon. Or, I don't know. They could do anything. Who knows at this point? But
primordial power. What if purple's primordial? It's pulling from the power of things that were created within this realm on Earth.
what was the color of the 10 rings?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Well, depending on who you were. The Mandarin, who's not the Mandarin.
Right. I mean, in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mandarin, who's not the Mandarin, his was blue, but when Shang-Chi got them, they were yellow.
Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out, because like you've got the Dweller in Darkness, which is one of the elder gods, you know.
Yep.
One of the elder gross or whatever. Anyways, chaos gods or whatever. I don't know that did it show he had like a color coded power? It was red. Okay, so chaos. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, and Agathis is purple.
Yeah.
So there's some type of dark magic thing that is purple.
It's either dark or primordial.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, well, that primordial would make sense because we're dealing with ancient gods, and if those came from, just like Black Panther, if they came from the asteroid that came from who knows where, you know, I mean that would explain why they're purple.
Yeah. And then
I don't know if that explains why Agathis is purple, unless they all kind of are connected somehow.
I think she tapped into something, because she might have. Oh.
What you got?
So, let's just go off the basis that God's quotations from Earth, or that exist on Earth normally, like the normal mythologies, Thor and all them are here, but we know they're aliens. From what we can tell, Khonshu and them aren't aliens as like outer space, but aliens as in
Underdimensional
Yeah.
potential.
and those are some of the primordials. Each one of them still has an aspect of whatever, a natural occurrence that they can just control, which is what makes them, you know, folks revere them as gods for that. Agatha, the way that she used her powers were, because we've seen what she did to the other witches before.
Right, because magic is pulling power from another dimension.
Yes. So, and Arthur Harrow he's pulling whatever out of them, leaving them just like Huss. I can't make a Huss face. So she pulled the power from the witches, but I think she might have talked to, well, just for the sake of this, she could have like tapped into some Anubis mess. Because what if she's like working under the aspect of death itself?
Okay, I see that.
So, and then that's where she's tapped in the primordial power of that. But then when she tried to take Scarlet Witch's stuff,
Chaos is
yeah,
way more.
it's more powerful. It overwhelmed her. And Doctor Strange pulling from another dimension.
If
Yeah.
this did turn everything back, that also the Infinity Stones are back. Pull something. Should have had a gauntlet.
So yeah, the Infinity Stones are back, and we do not need those. Well, for one, no one used them right.
I mean, we know from Loki, like, they exist in other dimensions.
Yeah. And they don't work outside of the timeline, but
Or other timelines, rather, yeah.
other timelines. We haven't seen that yet, so we don't know for sure on that one.
Yeah.
But
Wherever Loki took place, whether it was in Chronopolis or the Quantum Realm or whatever, they were useless there.
yeah. So, but get them back on the timeline. We'll see what happens. So yeah,
Yep.
interesting.
So lot of unanswered questions and new questions and implications for this episode alone, and we're only 3 episodes in of this six episode limited series.
Oh.
Or what? Right, you can't look at me like that and not tell me what's going
All
on.
right.
You got me on the edge of my
Move.
seat.
Remember that thing we talked about a long time ago? That matter can't be destroyed. It can only become other things.
Right. Because science. Right.
Because science. And like and what if the Infinity Stones then just like their powers went into individuals, and we would see individuals like use those powers?
But yeah, because they didn't go away, because like we've got people like Captain Marvel that are still imbued with that power.
Yes. What if Moon Knight's a time stone? Or what if he's a space stone?
I don't know, because so time and gravity are very connected. So it's very and the moon gravity. So time would make sense. But I haven't seen the
Or he
color
could be the
green.
reality stone. You haven't seen green
Yeah.
because everything's all white. But
Have we seen Khonshu do it? He doesn't have a color palette. So
he hasn't done anything with it.
yeah, Arthur Harrow obviously is purple.
Yeah. But that's power. That doesn't mean anything. He's doing that mess. So Khonshu hasn't actually used magic. I mean, not magic like how Doctor Strange, Wanda.
Right. Yeah, even moving the night sky, and we see like purple in the sky, but that's just the moon.
sky.
In the yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's just the movement of lights.
Even when the gods, when they were the avatars, when they were sealing Khonshu, when they were touching hands, it was purple.
One other thing I forgot to mention. So when Arthur is leaving, there for a split second, you remember how? Excuse me. You remember how when the gods took over their avatars, their eyes rolled back in their heads, and they was like white-eyed, right? There for a split second, when Arthur was leaving and like kind of going back to his portal, there was a flash of white on his face for like a split second. So I'm not sure if that was the other chick,
Yeah.
you know.
Crocodile face.
No, the goddess of music and love.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, because remember she stuck around.
Yeah.
And is she a scorned lover that's setting him up, or is she actually trying to help?
Scorn lover. Always go for the scorn lover. All right. I don't have anything else.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, and we'll be talking about this for a long time.
Still a pocket until otherwise said. So, all right.
All right, so that's all we've got for Moon Knight episode 3. So let's go ahead and get into MCU news. Just cover what's happened. I hadn't really just things going on. I haven't really been able to get like deep dive into everything, but here's what I've seen so far. Of course, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness had their pre-sales date come and go, and they had the best pre-sales so far in 2022 for Fandango. Not to mention, of course, I mentioned it earlier. Thor 4 has broken the MCU record for shortest gap between first trailer and release.
Okay. It was still confusing the mess out of me. Meaning, the movie's about to come out and we still haven't got a trailer.
Right, yeah. Usually there's like a bigger space. Mm-hmm. You know, we get a trailer and then several months. Now we've only got a couple months. Okay. Big drama going on with the drama-ish. So, with the creator of America Chavez, the creators really just don't really get paid like they should, because Marvel goes, here's like $5,000. Yeah, which is obscene.
Okay. I get what you mean.
Yeah, so he's kind of making a stand, saying, hey, he rejected the offer with them saying, hey, we're going to use your character that you created. Here's some money. $5-10 is pennies compared to what they're
actually get.
Yeah, and what the return that they're getting for that character.
I can understand
so it's obscene.
$5-10 creating a character for like a one shot.
Yeah, but at the same time, if that character becomes something huge, it should be retroactive. Like, for example, I'm a graphic designer, so I know the story of the lady that created the Nike swoosh. She got paid like $100-$200 for that. Later on, Nike swoosh, like, that is their identity, right? Yeah. Later on, like a couple years back, they made it right, went back and like paid her dividends, like made it right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think, like, honestly,
most things are kind of like, oh well, at the time, you know.
Honestly, if like something breaks it big, or if it gets used in a movie, you should get either a certain percentage of like
it should be locked. Percentage would make sense, because that would depend on how big it gets.
Yeah,
and you obviously have a huge stake in that.
Yeah,
you know, whether it stays small, then you get, you know, your percentage may be 1-2% or whatever. And that's still, you know, but if it's small, then it's small. If it's big, then it's that 1-2% is big. You know what I mean? That just makes more sense. So anyway, that's a thing going on right now. Also, the other connection I forgot to mention with Thor and Moon Knight is that Mjolnir is made of moonstone.
Yeah. Let's not and say we did. Even so, like 2% of 10 million. I did this the wrong way. Yeah. I know.
You don't like that fact?
I don't want him to pick up this. Everyone needs to stop picking up Mjolnir. $200,000. If they make $10 million off this, $200,000 for 2%. So I mean that's.
Yeah, I mean that's.
It's a sizable chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can live off that for a good minute.
Yeah.
If you live modestly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, would you say 10 million?
Yeah, that's just $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
And Spider-Man made $1 billion by itself.
Yeah. I think it should be kind of tied to like what percentage of the film that they're in, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's not really fair, because if they're in 100% film, you can't have 100% profits.
I think
that doesn't make sense.
What you call it? I think to a max it should be like 7%, because even 7% is $1 billion. and it's like doing increments. Like if they have 30 minutes plus of a screen time, that's 2%. They have hour plus of screen time, that's 4%. If they're in the whole movie, like it is their movie.
Yeah, that should be a big chunk.
7%. You can go on from there.
Yeah. Yeah, they should get paid per show, per outing of that character.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So also, like I mentioned earlier, the runtime of Doctor Strange is right about 2 hours and 6 minutes, including credits. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, which before it was saying like the uncut runtime was well over 3 hours. And I'm all for that. Like, I really don't want a film that is just so like Transformers, just like so jam-packed, so much is happening that they don't give it room to breathe and process and all these things that, you know, the film needs.
That's what DVDs are for.
Yeah. What?
Because you might release a director's cut of a DVD.
Oh, yeah. But I still think, like, give me the longer version. I would rather sit in the theater and just give me a little thing in the middle, intermission. But yeah, so and then it was said that the runtime was literally this exact same as Spider-Man No Way Home, but now the updated runtime for whatever reason is under 2 hours.
They cut somebody saying a bad word out. They had 2 F-bombs.
Yeah. So it's going to be very action-packed, but I'm really hoping that it's not for the sake of story or plot, or, you know, that the movie doesn't suffer because of it. But okay, so next, the Ironheart series is going to be produced by Ryan Coogler of, you know, Black Panther director. They have also got the writer and director set up for it now. It's going to be Sam Bailey and Angela Barnes that are going to write and direct. They're actually directors. I'm sorry, not writing directors. Yeah, Sam Bailey and Angela Barnes will direct Ironheart. It's very, very connected to Black Panther. So now I'm just looking for screenshots because I saw something today. Marvel adjacent, Sony. Kraven the Hunter has cast Levi Miller in the pick, but as far as I can tell, there's no character announcement. Just that he's going to be in Kraven the Hunter.
That's Kraven. Why is Kraven the Hunter getting a movie?
Because Sony trying to make money.
Just stop, please.
Yeah.
Kraven the Hunter does not need a movie.
Still haven't seen Morbius.
Yeah,
which is. I've heard both sides. Like, some people are saying I don't understand all the hate. Other people are saying that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Wow. That it was that bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, some folks can't take vampire stuff seriously. Like, I'm sure if somebody watched all of Underworld, they would either.
I love Underworld.
Yeah, it's so good. They would either like laugh and like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Or they'll just like love it as we do. So I think it's
speaking of vampire stuff, there was a nice little Easter egg nod that I forgot to mention in Moon Knight episode 3, where he was getting out of the taxi cab and he was like, "Where's my money?
Where's my money? Where's my money? Wait, guy, where's my money?"
Next up, Disney is submitting Loki for Outstanding Drama Series at the Emmys. And as far as limited series categories, they are submitting Moon Knight and Hawkeye.
It's very funny when they do that.
Why?
Because I know they're trying to like, they're good enough to win awards, but I feel like they're also doing it to be spiteful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because everybody kind of doesn't. They don't really take comic book movies seriously.
Because it pissed off a lot of folks when Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, which is dumb because
Yeah.
it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stop looking at it through these lenses of like these are because you've got old cats like Scorsese or whatever. It's like these are children's books. These are children's movies. Why are they? It's like, okay, just because you don't have some old dude shooting somebody up that's talking about gang violence or mafia
My daughter's
violence.
wedding.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. Simu Liu is hilarious on Twitter, and apparently said that that Moon Knight needs to fire his Mandarin teacher, or not Moon Knight, but Arthur Harrow. Because remember that scene where Arthur Harrow was talking Mandarin to? He said, "Yeah, that was crap. It was bad."
Ooh, that's really bad.
Yeah. So yeah, Simu Liu is Shang-Chi.
Really?
Potential big reveal. So the writer Michael Waldron, who wrote, I think it was. Damn it, I didn't screenshot that part. Yeah, shoot, I can't remember. He just wrote a big property for Marvel, and it might have been Doctor Strange too, if I'm remembering correctly. But anyways, it was his birthday recently, and one of his writer friends, Jennifer Caden Robinson, they were just kind of like chatting back and forth on Twitter and or Instagram rather, and she said, "Hey, good luck with your life," and they said, "Yeah, good luck with writing X-Men." So he might be writing X-Men. He might not be. It could be just a joke. Don't know. But that came out today.
That's cool.
Yep. And so crew get gifts on movie sets, right? And they get crew things, right? Yeah, they get gifts and stuff. So director on the set, director Sam Raimi, on the set of Doctor Strange 2, gave one of the crew one of the comic books that was one of his main influences for the film, and it includes Klee and Brother Voodoo.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Klee or Clea. I've heard it either way, but yeah, that's the.
He better die.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Wait, I can't see what. Yeah, I was trying to see what comic number it was, but old school comic.
They've been doing that a lot lately.
A lot of old references and stuff.
Deep cut.
So yeah, that's all I've got for that. For MCU news. Next up in the MCU, still no hard dates for She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, or What If Season 2. These are supposedly coming out this year in 2022. Of course, we've got Moon Knight right now, Doctor Strange 2 on May 6th, which less than a month away now. Of course, Morbius is playing right now.
Morbius?
Okay. Ms. Marvel on June 6th or June 8th rather. Thor 4 July 8th, and Black Panther 2 on November 11th, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special late 2022. And there is a I forgot to mention, I don't know if it's coming out in 2022 or not, but there is a Werewolf by Night Halloween special coming. I don't know how you wouldn't have Moon Knight, because that was Moon Knight's first appearance. And I didn't notice whether or not there was a QR code in this episode either.
Okay. them. We can go back and forth. I'm sure somebody has paused every second of the movie.
Yeah, because there was one in episode 1 and 2.
Give me the first 6
Yeah. Anywho, that's all I got. Do you have anything else?
No. Screen's doing that crazy thing.
Yeah, sorry. It's late for us. Sorry, guys. All right, so thank you for joining us. Hope that you will join us live on YouTube or whatever platform that you're watching us on. Every Thursday night, about 9:30 Central Standard Time. I say about because, yeah. So please like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon so that you know when we drop a video, when we go live, and all that fun stuff. And please don't forget to share this. It's a huge thing. Please like and share. Helps the algorithm find us. And we also thank you for subscribing.
Yes.
And support financially if you want to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com. And I'm Dylan.
I am Quinn.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Goodbye.